Hey guys, Coach John here. This is my client, Mike. He's been with me for 2 years now, training with me in person. So Mike, why don't you just briefly introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm a 55-year-old guy who has been probably mostly unfit most of his life, and I have retired recently in the last couple of years. And yeah, that is basically it in a nutshell. I was in healthcare for over 25 years, and now I'm just at home, kind of taking care of some hobbies here and there, and living a good life.
And you're also a dad, right?
I am also a dad of 2 grown children. My wife and I, we have a boy and a girl, and both are in college, and one is married. So yeah, at the empty nest stage kind of in our lives.
Fantastic. So what were you struggling with? What were you going through in your life at the time you reached out to me? What made you reach out to me specifically?
So I'm in my early 50s, and first of all, my body image, right? I was always a little bit shy and concerned about my body habitus, and not that I was overly overweight, but of course I looked unfit, had some rolls on my abdomen side there, never really was muscular, always that slim type, but then when you have a little extra fat, it really does show. That was one of the things, of course. Secondly, I didn't have as much endurance anymore. I felt like, I would huff and puff, especially if I jogged down to the end of the driveway. And then, of course, thirdly, with age, this is probably a little bit of genetics behind here too. Both my parents had hip and knee issues, right? And I saw some of the things were coming on to myself as well. I started having these aches in the knees and pains in the hips, and you'd hear them creaking here and there. And so I thought, I'm not going to go down this path. I need to do something about it, make some changes.
So I know you mentioned to me before something about hiring a trainer and not having great results. Can you talk about that a little bit? And being that happened, were you skeptical of what you could accomplish with me?
Okay, I'll answer your first question, right? Go back into my late 30s. I started doing a little bit of running on the side, and then I felt, it's just burning calories basically, but it's not really doing anything for building any muscle or strength that way. So I decided to hire a trainer, and I was with them for about 1.5 years, and I didn't see much of a result. I felt stronger, but I didn't see much of the results. So my kids even said, yeah, you're looking a little bit better, Dad, but I still wasn't happy with the end result. Fast forward another 4 or 5 years, I hired another trainer for about 1.5 years again. It was barely any results again. So I was a little disheartened. And so now fast forward up into my early 50s, COVID happens, people become a little bit displaced or complacent, and they are doing less. They're probably eating more because we just couldn't leave our homes really. And so of course I put on more weight, and at that time I was probably my heaviest, 205 pounds. So I thought, should we try this again? Let's find a trainer. I wanted something local. I wanted to do in-house training because I always feel for myself, I'm not that typical person who holds himself accountable through some kind of online training. So I need to be there in person. And so I looked online, and I looked for something that was local, and a bunch of trainers came up, and I looked at all of them, and of course, being the skeptic that I was, because I had failed twice before, let's make sure I make a right choice this time. So I came across your website, and I looked at it thoroughly, and there was quite a bit of information there that was really I would say concrete in structure. And I felt, okay, this guy knows his stuff. Let's give him a call. And so that was the first step.
So now we're January 14th today, 2024. I think you started with me January 2022, was it?
Correct.
Yeah. So it's basically been almost exactly 2 years. When would you say you noticed the first kind of major change in yourself? I think we talked about you noticed something, like you really noticed some results in your body composition last year.
Yep.
So can you talk about when you noticed that and what you noticed?
So in that first year, starting off in January, probably within a couple of months, I started feeling a bit stronger, and I felt I had a little bit more stamina. So those were the first noticeable things, physical things. Really noticeable was probably a year later, January, February of 2023. And I was really happy with that result, and I really moved forward on that part. And I think what helped accelerate that after January 2023 was really being diligent on the nutrition side of things.
I think even in the first year, like you obviously made some good progress because your wife ended up hopping on board because she saw how well you were doing, and that was within the first year, I'm pretty sure, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was probably within a month and a half of me starting with you.
Okay. Yeah, but I think your physical, like becoming more defined, having more vascularity showing, like the whole package really coming together came about in 2023, probably around the spring, would you say?
Yeah, that's
somewhere
correct.
around there.
Yeah.
So this is a quick little note for you guys watching. You can certainly make changes and get results within a few months. I've had clients lose. I had one client lose, I think, 40 pounds in 8 weeks. But it's also a long-term thing we're doing here. It's not just like, okay, what can I do in 6 weeks? Because we're also focusing on integrating healthy habits into somebody's life. So anyways, not to go on a tangent there, but just to emphasize, there's short-term results and then there's longer-term results after a year, 2 years, 3 years, where you can kind of keep building. So, so what other specific results have you had with the program, whether it's things you've noticed with your mental health, physical health? Do you want to go into that a little
Sure.
bit?
So let's go with some physical health first. I definitely have no more issues with my knees and or hips creaking or making noises or with any discomfort there. So that's a good thing. The muscles that we're looking at training and strengthening are all over, right? And so with your guidance, we've definitely strengthened my leg muscles around the knees, just the hip flexors as well. And I think those have given me a lot of hope to realize that maybe I won't follow that same path my parents took, right, with hip and knee replacements. The other thing was weight loss. Again, I was at my highest just after COVID, and that'd be shortly thereafter, after I met you there. I was at about 205 pounds, and I dropped to my lowest at about 165 pounds, and quite lean.
That's quite a drop.
Yeah. Now I average around 175 to 180, and I'm really happy with that goal at this point. Maybe I'll have to start bulking up a little bit more there.
We've started already a little bit.
Correct.
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
And mentally, that was the other thing. That was another thing that really boosted my, confidence. We have gone on a bunch of holidays, and I'm able to take my shirt off at the beach there. I don't mind. I'm like, hey, I kind of feel like I fit in right now. You know, I'm not going to be that recluse guy underneath the umbrella with his t-shirt on. So that confidence part is a big thing for me. So I feel that for me, it has really boosted my self-esteem.
So let's just go into the muscle building and the body composition changes here. So Mike went in and did a DEXA scan in January. So I got the paperwork here, or sorry, let's see here, January 31st. Hold on a second, do I have the date?
That's correct, here? Yeah. It was last year.
2023.
That was last year. And then this is about 11 months later.
Right. So January 31st, 2023, December 6th, 2023. So he went from 17.8% body fat January of last year to 13%. So he dropped 4.8% in body fat. Now, he didn't just lose body fat, he also put muscle on. So if I did my math correctly here, they gave the numbers in grams. So Mike went from 14,257 grams of total body fat to 10,354 grams. That's a change of 3,902 grams. So a loss of 3.9 kilograms of body fat. And then he gained 3.17 kilograms of lean body mass, which is usually common. Lean body mass is muscle mass, water, weight, bone mass. It's from what I understand. So that's a substantial change. And the interesting thing is the body weight itself didn't really change much. So where is that body weight now? Is it the next page?
Yeah, I think it was about the same,
here we are.
about 180 pounds.
Yeah, so the body weight in January was 81.2 kilograms. And in December of last year, 80.6. So basically about a half a kilogram change in body weight, but he dropped 4 kilograms of body fat and put on 3.1 kilograms of mostly muscle, I would say. Like we can see it, so. So that was pretty cool. So that was over a year. So just to show you that, you know, body weight is one thing to look at, but if you can get a DEXA scan done, some kind of high quality body composition scan done, it is interesting to kind of track your body composition over time, because if he was just tracking his weight, it would have been like, man, in a year, I only lost half a kilogram. That's horrible. But then that doesn't, obviously your clothes fit better. You could see visually when you looked at yourself, more definition, more vascularity, like you could see the changes, but it's nice to have some numbers sometimes. So anyways.
Yeah, my waist size actually dropped from its highest of 36 down to like 31 and a half, 32.
You have to buy some new clothes, or?
Oh yeah, they don't fit anymore, for sure.
I think he actually gave me a couple pairs of pants.
Yeah.
So, yeah, is there anything else you want to add? What would you say to somebody considering taking action this year who's been struggling maybe for the last year or 5 years or 10 years? And what would you say to that person to kind of give them that kick in the pants to get going, to help motivate them, help inspire them?
You know, you only have one chance in life, right? And I feel like I've been blessed and I've been given that extra chance to live a better life. And you know, our bodies only last so long, and depending on what you do to it, what you put into it, what you are not maybe doing, all will affect it. And if you're not doing the proper things, it's not going to last as long as you want it to. And I feel for myself, I want to go out with a bang. You know, I want to keep on going until I'm in my late 90s, right? And so it's important for me. I don't want to have any surgeries. I want to stay strong and fit. I don't want to ever go under the knife. So I think being healthy, eating healthy, doing these big lifestyle changes are definitely going to prolong that for me.
Well, I really appreciate you sticking with me for the last 2 years and also for doing this interview. Hopefully it helps some people make the decision this year to take care of their health and make it a priority, not only for themselves, but for their families as well. So really appreciate you doing this, and yeah, thank you.
No problem. Anytime, yeah.
We'll catch you guys later.